Hello everybody and welcome back to part 2 of emotional health. I hope you all are doing well. I'm going to do a brief recap on our previous session just to kind of get us up to speed. Emotional health is one of the things that I think people kind of forget to think about and take care of. And it's also one of those things that if we do that, it's going to creep in and it's going to cause some disturbances. So like we talked about in our previous class, depending on our mood, our interactions, different scents that we're smelling, that can all change our biochemistry, okay? And remember that biochemistry is kind of dealt with and can cause changes that lie in kind of the deep center part of our brain with the amygdala and with the olfactory system. That's part of the limbic system, which is the system that is the seed of all of our emotions, okay? So that's where we have our emotional memory, and sometimes we don't even remember those memories until like a scent will trigger that. And that's why it's really important to use scents when you're trying to work on your emotional health, because it lets us kind of dig deeper into some of those memories, and sometimes those memories are great and kind of help release that serotonin or dopamine or oxytocin, and sometimes they're not so great, right? So we can lower those chemistries and kind of elevate our cortisol. So it also can be triggered by experiences that we've had, physical experiences that we have. And again, if that's a good memory, that really excites us, that kind of ignites the amygdala, and it kind of kicks it into, ooh, I'm going to build in some of these extra hormones to help keep those levels up, to help keep this sense of happiness or joy. Where if we're kind of in a deeper or darker spot, those levels kind of creep down because we don't have something kind of always stimulating them, and that's when our cortisol levels can creep up, okay? So it's really important for us to take care of our emotional health. Mood challenges and disorders are becoming more and more prevalent. And it's especially, we're seeing it in our super industrialized nations, right? And that's because conveniences are a way of life. And sometimes conveniences get in the way of our health. Such as, oh, I'm really super busy because I'm running here, I'm running there, I'm getting off work, I need to get the kids to soccer or whatever. And we go, you know what, tonight I'm just going to go through that drive-through. And so we start eating some of those foods that don't have that nutritional value and don't allow us to take care of our body and our systems the way we should. And so when we're not getting those nutritional values, we tend to kind of eat more because our body hasn't quite told us, hey, I have enough nutrition right now, right? So I've been on a much better health adventure in my last few months, and I never was a vegetable eater. I mean, they were okay, but I didn't seek them out. I sought out the fries and the fried chicken sandwiches and the hamburgers and the carbs. I loved bread. And now that's not what I seek out. I see this delicious bread or bagel sitting on my counter, and I can pass them up because my body isn't craving those things anymore. We really do have to train our body to crave those nutritional things, and once we do, it's a major transformation. I can have me a good hearty salad. I just had one for lunch here a little bit ago, and it was a decent sized salad, but I didn't feel overstuffed when I ate it, and I felt very satisfied, and it tasted very delicious. Where in the past, I've always liked salads, but I haven't used that as like my main meal or my main course. I'll maybe have a little side salad with my pasta or with my breaded chicken or something like that. And so it's really important that we seek foods that give us the proper nutrition, okay? Digestive issues and disorders are rampant. And again, it's related to the number of processed foods that we're eating, and also related to the number of toxins that our body has to deal with on an everyday basis. And that could be toxins coming in from air pollutants because we're in a super industrialized nation now. It could be toxins that we're taking in from chemicals that have been approved from the FDA to be in our lotions, our shampoos, our conditioners, our soaps. our cleaning solutions. You guys, those are really, really toxic for us, and our body has to take those in, whether it's through ingestion or whether it's on our skin. Our skin is our biggest organ in our body, and when we're just absorbing all of those, our body has to process it, and it's a foreign object to it, so it doesn't quite know how to break it down, and so it really struggles, and it can cause a lot of GI distress. Scientists have discovered that there are more neurotransmitters in our gut than in our brain. Okay, let me say that again. Scientists have discovered there are more neurotransmitters in our gut than our brain. You guys, that's a huge discovery. Why is that huge? Because neurotransmitters are what send signals, information throughout our body, telling it to operate, telling us to breathe, telling us whether we have pain, telling us whether our bladder is full, telling us all sorts of things. And if we don't have a situation where our neurotransmitters are in optimal environment, they can't communicate well, okay? Kind of think of somebody who has maybe taken some extra pain meds or some illegal drugs or too much alcohol and they're intoxicated, right? Can they communicate as eloquently as they could before? No, they can't. And they tend to make really bad decisions, and things usually don't work out to their advantage. It's kind of the same thing we're doing to our neurotransmitters when we don't take care of our gut. So I am here to tell you that if you want to take care of your emotional health, it starts in the gut. So it's going to feel like we're talking about a digestive class today when we're really talking about mental health. And guess what, guys? Digestive health is important for every other body system, okay? I've always said as a nurse, if your bowels aren't happy, ain't no other part of your body happy, all right? If you're having some GI distress, you are not going out and about, right? You're usually laying in bed, or you're on the toilet, or you're having a lot of cramping and a lot of pain, and it's very distracting and dysfunctional and irritating, and you're not happy. So it's really important that if we want our bodies functioning at its maximum capability, which you guys, our bodies are massive machines. They can work in the most perfect manner if we take care of them. Taking care of our digestive system is also hugely important because that's where 70% of our immune system lies. So again, if we don't have an area where our gut and our bowels are moving the way they should, and they're not absorbing nutrition the way they should, we're not able to expel things the way we should, it's causing a lot of havoc in the rest of our body, and we may not know it. So a lot of other physical manifestations may be related to we need to clean our gut out, but that's not how it's presenting. So none of us, that's not really our go-to first thing. But what I'm learning when I'm looking into natural solutions, almost every single time there's a chronic issue, we go to the gut and we clean the gut, and then those chronic issues start to become more and more controlled. So it's really, really important that we take our nutrition and our hydration very seriously, and that we take our gut health very, very seriously. Healthy mood management depends on how well our neurotransmitters are able to communicate to one another and to relay messages to one another. So not just the neurotransmitters within our brain, but also the neurotransmitters within our gut, okay? How can one experience healthy moods if their cells are depleted of nutrition and if the neurotransmitters reside in an area of blockage or inflammation? Okay? A healthy immune response consists of the body's ability to properly identify a pathogen and engage it in a series of responses designed to prevent the pathogen from entering our target cells or our tissues. So again, 75% of our immune system is in our gut, and we need to treat that very, very seriously. Many times when individuals get sick, it's really the body's way of naturally releasing those toxins. So we need to treat those symptoms, but we also need to treat our gut. And if we do them simultaneously or synchronously, we're going to have a much better and quicker result and get back to health. So a healthy gut starts with what we put in our mouth. The other interesting fact is that in our mouth, what we put in our mouth can have a direct effect on our mood, right? Because I'm a chocoholic, or I used to be a chocoholic. And when I was upset, when I was feeling the blues, when I was stressed, when I was overwhelmed, what was my go-to? It was chocolate. Why? Because I put that in my mouth and it tasted good and it made me feel good. It made me feel relaxed. It made me feel wanted and loved and needed. That sounds crazy, but it did. And guess what? When you do that, your body craves a little bit more. And I would eat it until I physically felt sick. I think half the time during nursing school, I had a bag of chocolate and a bag of Doritos, and back then straight up Coke, not even Diet Coke, straight up Coke. And when I was studying for a test, that's what I was putting in my body. That was probably one of the worst decisions I ever made, is choosing to use those types of fuelings when I was trying to study for the profession I was going in. Because that was doing the exact opposite that my body needed. It gave me that immediate feeling. But let me tell you, I've had many of gut aches from overeating the chocolate and the junk food. And I am absolutely surprised. It took me until I was 45 years old to figure out proper nutrition is one of the best ways that you can feel good. I've heard it before. We talked about it in nursing school, but I never truly experienced that for myself. And I'm telling you, it's so different and it's so great. Now I can enjoy that dessert, but I don't crave it. I can sit down. The other night was my anniversary. We decided I'm going to splurge. We're going to go to the Cheesecake Factory. And I was able to eat just a few bites of the cheesecake and be totally satisfied with it and not feel like I have to keep eating the whole thing. I look at my calories and stuff now that I'm taking in. That one slice of cheesecake, if eaten in full, were the full over the number of calories that I typically take in a whole day right now. And I was like super dumbfounded, and I never would look at that before, and I would just eat the whole thing, and then I'd like be rolling out of the restaurant like, why did I eat that full thing? But man, did it make me feel good, right? Not really. It was a temporary pleasure for hours of an upset gut, right? Not worth it at all. And it causes more inflammation in my GI system. And so it's causing a whole lot of other havoc than I ever really realized it was doing. Nutritional deficiencies, food sensitivities, blood sugar imbalances, substance abuse, stimulants such as caffeine, they all can affect our biochemistry. And they can contribute to our mood and fluctuations and put us in a compromised emotional state. I will say I do feel like I have more clarity, like I have better ability to think about decisions. I'm less reactive. And I think it's because I've been living a much cleaner, healthier life. And I'm putting those foods in my mouth that have that nutritional value, and it's allowing my brain to function better. When our bodies are getting what it needs nutritionally, it can keep those chemistries up in our body that we need to keep us in a state of happiness, to keep us out of a state of overwhelm, and to keep us into a balanced state. Additives in processed foods generate chemical reactions, and that can drastically affect our mood and our behavior. So a lot of things that really can have a dramatic negative effect on us in the food industry is high fructose corn syrup. That's in so many things, right? That sweetener, we got to have that sweet for us to feel that level of pleasure when we're eating, right? Trans fats, artificial flavors, artificial colors. We have to make it look right and pretty, right? You know, the salad that I ate today, it was beautiful. It was bright green. I had purple onions in there. I had orange carrots in there. It was all naturally colored, and it actually was beautiful, and it tasted amazing. So we can get those beautiful colors and that same sense of satisfaction if we're eating the proper foods. Artificial sweeteners, they're in everything. Those wreak havoc on our GI system. MSG, it's a chemical in a lot of the salad dressings, seasonings, things like that. It's everywhere. Preservatives can also contribute to an unhealthy and unbalanced gut. And those lead to, again, the biochemistry changes and lowered immune response. So, again, we are what we eat. And we express emotionally what we eat. So if we're not putting proper things in our mouth, that's how our body is going to interpret that, and that's how we're going to express ourselves emotionally and physically. Hydration. You guys, our bodies are made up of primarily water. And if we're not putting that water back in us, we're depleting our systems. It can't operate. Hydration alone is so good for the GI system. It makes things move much more freely, and our GI system can do what it's intended to do, to pull up the nutrients and to expel what's left. When we're eating those proper foods, our bodies don't have as much toxins that they have to process. And so eliminating those toxins becomes a lot easier for our body because there's not that mass amount of toxins that it has to get rid of. Citruses work really well. Citrus oils. You can put some citrus oils in your drinks or in your smoothies to kind of help your body detoxify and also give your body that pick-me-up. Remember, they're very, very uplifting. So when I make my protein shake in the morning, I have one that's a pina colada flavor. It is delicious. And I'll add like 4 drops of a grapefruit oil and a couple drops of wild orange. 1, it makes the shake taste delicious. But 2, it's giving my body that extra support to help detoxify it. And it's also giving my body that extra support of a pick-me-up, of things are going to be okay. And that's great. You do have to remember when you're adding oils into your water, they must be pure oils. And when I'm talking about ingesting oils, I'm talking about ingesting doTERRA's oils because those are the ones that I know and trust that are clean and pure and safe for us to ingest. The other thing when you're mixing them in with your drinks, it needs to be in a metal container or a glass container. And that's because those oils will start to detoxify any plastics, and then you're ingesting all of that detoxified plastic into your body. That's not good for your body either. So I actually make my shake right into a little canning jar because the little mixer or processor will screw right onto the top of the lids or right on top of a jar. So I just do that. It's already glass. I add my essential oils to that, mix it up. I'm good to go. It's delicious and it's nutritious and it helps me to detoxify. So that's a great way to do it. You can also put the citrus oils in your diffuser. I almost always add a citrus oil into the diffuser. I mix and match a lot. I much prefer either a blend in the diffuser or to put several single oils in the diffuser. I rarely enjoy just a single oil in the diffuser at a time. I like to mix it up. Let's see. One of the challenges with balancing brain function is that the brain is has a really well protected layer around it. So they're high density cells, and it's called the blood-brain barrier. And that's a good thing, and it can be a hard thing. The good thing about it is it's keeping all of the bad things out, and it's really providing this layer of protection for your brain. You don't want infections and things like that getting in your brain. It can be very, very devastating. But with that, it doesn't allow many things to kind of get past it or to penetrate it. But there are certain oils that can penetrate that blood-brain barrier, and so we can get effects directly into our brain. And when we apply our essential oils, kind of right back, if you look, feel at the back of your skull, there's kind of this like triangular indentation. And you can apply your essential oils there and right on that bone, right behind your ears and right under your nose. And that helps to penetrate the blood-brain barrier so that your brain is starting to get the effects of those oils before it's in the regular circulation of our body. That's powerful, you guys, and that's right at your fingertips. A lot of medications can't penetrate the blood-brain barrier, and the ones that do, you typically are getting the really bad side effects from them. So it's awesome to have something at our fingertips that we can have a direct effect on what the chemistries in our bodies are doing and the brain health for ourselves and for our family members. So what we're really going to talk about from here on out is different products that we have through doTERRA that can help us get our nutritional level where it needs to be and to take care of our gut. Again, taking care of our gut can take care of many, many issues and can have a tremendous effect on our emotional balance. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the Long Life Vitality, okay? This is actually the #1 selling product for doTERRA, and it has a 30-back empty bottle guarantee, meaning if you feel like you didn't feel a difference after taking these, you can contact doTERRA and they will refund your money. You guys, these are amazing. This is the triple pack, and this actually is the one that comes in the little individualized packet, so that's like a half of a dose for a day. So the full dose is 4 of each of these 3 supplements a day. Oftentimes people will do 2 in the morning and 2 in the evening. You can also get them in the bottles. When you get them in the bottles, they're slightly cheaper, but if you're like, man, I just need the convenience and I can throw this in with my breakfast or my lunch or whatever, then there you go. They make it even easy for you. I would, with any vitamin or supplement, take it with a bit of food because these are pretty potent and strong, and we need something to kind of mix with it, or you might get a little bit, your stomach might get a little upset. And that's true with any vitamin or supplement you're taking, not just doTERRA's. That's absolutely any one of them. But we're going to talk about, so they have a dual pack and they also have a triple pack. I love the triple pack, and we're going to talk about it. So the first one in there is the Microplex VMZ, and that's the one that has, pardon me, that's the ones, I need to hydrate. I get talking and then my throat gets dry. That's the one that is your basic like vitamin supplement. It has all your vitamins and minerals. And guess what? All of their vitamins and minerals are from whole food substances. So you might look at it and go, well, geez, in some other vitamins, they have a higher like percentage of calcium in them. So am I really getting what I need with these LLVs? And I'm here to tell you yes, because when they come from whole food products, your body knows how to break them down. They're a lot easier for your body to break down because it's a natural substance. It's not a substance that's made in a chemistry lab. All of those artificial substances, our body has a really hard time breaking them down. They usually absorb very little of it because it's so busy trying to figure out what it is and break it down that we're kind of really just literally flushing our money down the toilet because our body's just expelling them. It doesn't know how to absorb those artificial vitamins and minerals. So the VMZ is your vitamin supplement, and it is fantastic. The other one that comes in it is the omegas. So omegas are really important. This is like your fish oil. These are really important for our brain health, our heart health, and our liver health. And so it's really important. These, you never are going to taste that fishy smell unless one of them kind of somehow bursts open in the bottle, which I've only have happened once, and you only taste it because it's gotten on the other parts of the vitamins. The omegas also come in a children's form of liquid, and once that's opened, that should stay in the refrigerator. But these are the omegas, so brain, heart, and liver health. They put clove in theirs as well, and that's a really good antioxidant. So that's helping to clean all of the oxidation off of our cells, and so that when we're reproducing good, healthy cells. It also has this crimson, what makes the crimson color, and it is like a natural sunscreen. And so it's like you're putting sunscreen on from the inside out, which when I first heard that, I was like, I don't believe that. Do you guys see a theme? When I first started getting into this stuff, I'm like, it sounds too good to be true. But, you know, I've used myself, my family's been doing this. We kind of use ourselves as guinea pigs. My sister, who teaches classes with me and does doTERRA with me, she's pretty pasty. She's pastier than I am, and you can see I'm pretty pasty. And she would go out in the sun, and in 20 minutes, she would be sunburnt. She takes these every single day, and now she goes out and she rarely will put on a sunscreen. And when she does, it's a product that we make because we know it's not full of toxins. But she didn't get sunburned. So she really put it to the test one day. She just forgot to put on sunscreen, went and did yard work for about 5 or 6 hours. Her face was bright red, but we get super red when we get hot and when we're doing exercise. And she thought, oh boy, that was probably not my wisest decision. But after she cooled down, her face came back to normal coloration and she had 0 sunburn and she didn't put any sunscreen on. So it's like a natural sunscreen. And that is in the pill form. I don't think you get that same benefit in the children's form, okay? And then the other one that makes this the super pack is the cellular level. So that's the Omega CRS, and that's the cellular restoration supplement. And that's what really helps get to our cells and gives them that powerful boost of energy and detoxification and cleansing and things like that. Again, all of our cells, with the exception of our spinal cord cells and our brain cells, they duplicate. And the old ones get expelled, and then we have these new cells in our body. And when we can duplicate our cells in a perfected or a healthy state, we're going to avoid those chronic long-term disease processes. So I love that the cellular level does that. I will say and will suggest when you start doing these, your body can kind of go, whoo, what did you just do to me? Okay, especially if you're one that you're maybe not eating the right foods and you're taking in more processed foods and not the ones with as much nutritional value. I kind of tell people to start a little slow. So maybe take one of each of them for a few days and up to a week, and then kind of increase that to 2 of them a day, and then kind of go up from there. You can go full strength if you want. See what your body does. Your body will tell you, right? But these have really helped with lowering the inflammation in our body. So it really can kind of help us manage some of those aches and pains that we start to get as we get older, right? Because we kind of abuse our bodies and we start to get this inflammation that builds up. So these really help to lower inflammation system-wide in our body. They help to balance emotions. They help to balance hormones. And they give us that really strong nutritional state for our body. So it kind of gives you a little bit of, I can cheat a little bit because I know my body's getting what it needs. When you take these at full dose, it's like getting 12 servings of fruits and vegetables per day in. Not many of us do that. And I eat a lot of vegetables these days, and I don't even get that in. I'm going to start upping that since I'm, getting to that goal weight, and I'm going to start increasing those fruits and vegetables a little bit. But this gives our body the nutrition that it needs. So if you're looking to make one change in your nutritional state, I would say start with the LLVs, okay? This is absolutely the foundation for everything. And again, the #1 selling product in an essential oil company. That's pretty huge in my opinion. Okay, a couple other products that are really good for GI health. The Terrazyme supplement. This, I will say, is actually probably my most favorite supplement that they have for me personally. So we all produce enzymes in our bodies, and enzymes are what help us break down different proteins, different fats, dairy, things like that. And as we age, our enzyme production decreases. And there's not a whole lot we can do to supplement that or to make it go up. And so one way you can do is to take this supplement, again, made with whole food products. So our bodies know exactly what to do with it and start putting it to work. And on these, you really can't overdo these because our body will store these enzymes. If it has enough in there to do the job it needs to do, it will store the enzymes. I typically do 1 or 2 of these a day. If I'm really doing a GI cleanse and really focusing on doing a full clean out, I will do 1 in the morning. I will do 1 with each meal and 1 at night. These are in capsule form, so kids can do these if they have a hard time taking the capsule. You can open it and sprinkle it on like some applesauce for them to take in. But it really does help us digest things a whole lot easier. When you take these on an empty stomach, which these don't upset my stomach, it really is healthy for our connective tissue. And our connective tissue, we're made up of a ton of it in our body. It's what kind of holds everything together, right? And so when people are having, I get a lot of skin flare-ups and sensitivities, and this is one of the #1 things that helps clear it up. This is also a supplement. My sister got really sick in December of 2019, and she just couldn't kick this despite doing good nutrition, hydration, taking care of her gut, using her essential oils. She just couldn't kick it. And she had recently done a class where they said, do 9 Terrazyme a day. So do 3 in the morning, 3 at lunch, 3 with dinner. And also rub lemon and frankincense on you, whether it's your chest or your feet or your spine. Get lemon and frankincense on you. Literally, you guys, she was sick for like, I can't even remember the number, but it was almost 2 months, I think, where she would start to get better and then boom, get sick again. She did this. She took 9 in one day. She did her frankincense, she did her lemon, and she literally woke up the next day and went, wow, I feel pretty good, but I'm just going to lay in bed here because I know it's going to start kicking in. Like, I've just been sick for so long that I'm just waiting for those symptoms to come. And they didn't come. So she did that for a good 7 to 10 days just to really do an overhaul and a clean out. So this is something that can really help your body detoxify as well. I love this supplement, and it's good for all ages. So this is my #1 supplement. PB Assist. So this comes in a capsule, and this is a probiotic. And they do have probiotics for kids that come in like almost like a little pixie stick, and they kind of taste like a pixie stick. Why are probiotics important? Because these help replace the good bacteria in our gut to help keep the flora where it needs to be. So there are such things as good bacteria and bad bacteria. And when we have a lot of overgrowth of the bad bacteria and it kind of overwhelms the good bacteria, that's when we can start to have a lot of GI distress. And when we take a good probiotic, it helps to replace that good bacteria in our GI system to help keep it in a healthy state. The one thing I love about the capsules is they come in a dual capsule, meaning the probiotics are in a smaller capsule that are encapsulated in a bigger capsule. And they're still not that big to take. They're actually very doable to swallow. And you see the outer layer is clear. I don't know how well you guys can see this, but the inner one is green. The inner capsule is the one that has the probiotic, and the outer capsule has some digestive enzymes to help kind of stimulate our GI tract to help get things moving. And then that inner capsule actually gets down into our intestines before it's kind of released, and that is huge. You guys, most of the time when we're eating like the yogurts that have probiotics in them, or even some of the prescription probiotics, they're not actually getting to our intestines. And so by the time they get there, our gastric acid juices have already kind of dissolved those probiotics, and so we're not getting the benefits. So again, we're literally flushing that money down the toilet. These actually get released in the intestine so they can do massive goodness once we get it where it's supposed to be. These are really important in this day and age. There's a big problem in the medical world where we tend to give out loads and loads of antibiotics. And when we take antibiotics, it kills the good and the bad bacteria. And so it really can give our GI systems and put them in a lot of distress. So if you're having to go on antibiotics, which antibiotics save lives, you guys, I'm not saying don't take those, but if we're treating our body the way it should be treated, it can fight off most of those infections itself. And we don't have to throw those really powerful, broad spectrum antibiotics at it that just kind of kill everything and doesn't really target one area. So if you have to be on some antibiotics, it's a really good idea to take a probiotic, and it's a really good idea to take a probiotic that actually get those probiotics to your intestinal tract. So I absolutely love these. I was never really a believer in a daily probiotic, but we take them daily because GI health is really, really important. If and when, none of us have had to be on antibiotics for years now, but if and when we do, we will definitely up the amount of probiotics that we take during the time of antibiotic and there immediately after, okay? So really important for GI health. Okay, doTERRA has 2 specific oils, 2 blends that are really good for neutralizing the digestive system. So it's going to take care of kind of all of the issues. And people go, oh, I don't want to do that because what if it gives me really loose stool? Okay, it's not going to do that. It neutralizes it. So whether you have hard stool or really loose stool, this is going to neutralize it so that your body can kind of make those adjustments to kind of fix that problem. If you kind of get some of that burning, particularly after certain foods that you eat, it's going to help with that. If you're getting a lot of gas or bloating, it's going to help with that. And these are ones that I use every single day. I primarily use the Tummy Tamer, and that's the kids version. Why do I use this one? Because it works fantastic and it smells delightful. It has peppermint and spearmint in it and a few other things, but those are the ones I smell the most, and it smells delightful. Sometimes I put on both of them. I've always kind of had a slow GI system, so I do these prophylactically, meaning I do them every day, whether I'm having a problem or not, to help keep me on the right track. This Digestin blend, if you like the smell of black licorice, this is it. I have many family members that actually prefer the Digestin over the Tummy Tamer because that smell is more intriguing to them. I like the smell of the Tummy Tamer better. So it's really whatever you want. And just because this is the kids version, guess what? It works great on adults because I use this every single day. These are roller balls. So the oil, there's essential oils mixed in there along with some fractionated coconut oil, and it just makes it really easy to apply to your abdomen. I do these at least once a day. I also carry one that I make up on my own. So I like to kind of play potions that has copaiba and yarrow palm in it. And copaiba is a great GI neutralizer as well. And so I kind of carry this one in my pocket. So if after I have had something to eat and I'm feeling a little bloated or gassy, I can just roll this on, and it really takes care of the issue almost immediately. And that one doesn't have quite as strong a scent than these two, and when I'm around other people, I try to be a little bit more cognizant of that. But these two are really great to have around. These just sit right by my sink, and that's one thing that I'll say is when you guys are using essential oils or different products, you need to put them where it's convenient for you to use. Because if the reason I have them by my bathroom sink is because I do it in the morning as I get out of the shower, I put on my deodorant and I put on my oils on my abdomen. If I had to walk out to my oil stand, I can guarantee you I wouldn't do it as frequently, because that's what happened when I first started in oils. I wanted all of them in one place that, you know, were labeled and alphabetical, and now I have them everywhere. The ones I use in my shakes, I have over by my blender. The ones that I use daily for my abdomen, I have them by my bathroom sink. I have my supplements right above my kitchen sink because I can fill a glass of water and take my supplements, and then I don't have to worry about it. So put your products where you're going to use them, and then you will be more consistent about using them. I can't stress consistency enough. Just think about if you were put on a prescription medication to help manage your blood pressure and to help balance your blood pressure. You wouldn't just take that pill when you thought you needed it or when you thought your blood pressure was high. You take it every day so you have a consistent level in your body. It's the same things with these. So I put these on at least once a day. You can put them on twice a day. You can put them on 6 times a day if you want. And if you don't love the smell, then put them on the bottoms of your feet. Our feet have a lot of reflex points. Kind of our stomach and abdomen area is kind of like right in the middle of our foot. So if you can't remember that, put them on the entire bottom of your feet. And the oils will go where it needs to go because of our reflex points on our feet. So just get them on. That's the main thing. These are quick. These are easy. This is probably one of the easiest self-care items that you can do to help keep your GI tract neutralized. I also keep, so in part 1's class, we talked about adaptive. That's the one to kind of help us with emotional balance. I happen to really love the smell of adaptive, so I tend to put that higher up on my body, like over my heart and behind my ears and maybe even on my neck. So I get the aroma of it, but I also get the effects topically where my cells are absorbing it and my body's using those chemicals to kind of help keep those chemistry levels, the serotonin, the dopamine, the oxytocin at the higher levels, right? So all of these things are so, so important for our emotional health. And I have just learned that we have to take care of our entire body if we want our body to function harmoniously with itself, and we really have to take care of our GI system. By taking care of my GI system, I have not, knock on wood, gotten sick, and I can't even tell you how long. And when I do, it's very minimal, and I can use my supplements and oils to really kick that issue in a matter of days versus a matter of weeks. And I can't tell you how empowering that is. None of us function great when we don't feel well, right? And so if we can reduce the amount of time that we don't feel well, just think at how much more productive we can be and how much happier we will be. None of us are real happy, right? We don't have those endorphins going when our stomach is not feeling great or we have some respiratory congestion and things like that. We're not in that super elevated state of euphoria, right? We're in this like, oh my gosh, am I ever going to get better state? So let's do this prophylactically. Let's do this preventatively. Let's take care of our bodies now to get us in the best state that we can be so that it balances out in general, both physically and emotionally. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I would love to do a consult with you to help find the products that you need for you and your family to be in a more balanced physical and emotional state. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful day.